it's Al. I'm in downtown Fargo, and we're going to grab a couple passerbys to find out what those future leaders of the world think about the world in which we live in. You know, who decides what is right and wrong?
Each individual person.
Get to the experience and see what you feel is right or wrong, and then kind of look at it after and say, yeah, that probably wasn't right, that wasn't wrong, and then taking that to the next step. So
if you're talking about laws, it's obviously the people in the legislature. If you're talking about like morals and ethics, it's kind of just a societal standard.
As far as real right and wrong, that's internal moral compass. You know, you got to decide that for yourself.
When does life begin?
Okay.
I'd kind of leave it up to someone who does know about that to tell me when a life has begun.
when life begins to me is when you have a heartbeat.
I mean, probably just when you're born.
I guess I'd go with birth as opposed to conception. That being said though, I don't really like the concept of abortion.
If you had to define love, how would you define love?
How I would define love is two people that truly have a physical connection of their hearts actually beat when they want to be around each other.
I'd say it's just really just kind of like a desire to want to be kind to someone.
Just strong emotional attachment.
If you had to define happiness, how would you define happiness?
I would say it's just that feeling of being proud of yourself, whole within yourself, and yeah, I suppose that's kind of just it.
Are you happy?
Most of the time, yeah.
I know down the road I'll be more happy.
Yeah, most of the time.
Depending on the day or the week that I've had, it can go either way. Half and half.
Okay.
Yeah.
All of us are looking for love, friendship, and especially happiness in this world that tells us to look for it in so many different places. We just had a glimpse of individuals in downtown Fargo, the average individual. Now I actually want to take a step back and contrast that with some of my peers that have the privilege of going to a Newman Center and to see how an encounter with Christ and His church truly forms them and their view of the world.
I think in today's culture, I decide what's right and wrong, and that's where we have all these problems.
So who decides what's right is wrong? Well, our Creator.
That's actually one of the things that I find most important about the Catholic faith is that it sets up a standard.
I think the more we learn, the more we see that that higher power, whether you believe in it or not, was actually right.
Life begins at conception.
At conception.
At conception.
Life begins at conception.
As soon as that sperm hits the egg, that's God's plan in action.
Love is willing the good of another, and love is sacrifice.
Love is sacrifice.
Love is death to self for another.
And as you can see on the cross, that's what Jesus did. He gave himself, he sacrificed himself for us.
So if you want love, look at the cross. That's what we're called to, and it's really hard.
You know, in the end, if we truly love something, we're going to give them everything that we are.
Happiness is more of the fleeting emotion, and joy is more of the emotion that stays with you.
Joy, to me, would just be that internal peace.
Happiness is life in Christ. I've tried to find it other places, and I don't find it. I can't find it.
So do you find happiness in your life right now?
Yes.
I'd say yes, I'm very happy.
Although I'm not smiling all the time and life is great, I know who created me and that He has a plan for my life.
I find such fulfillment and perfect joy in Christ.
I know that what I'm doing right now is part of God's plan for me. I think when I go to sleep at night, even if it's been a long day or a hard day or a bad day or whatever, I can still sit there at night and say that I am truly living my best life.
The joy of such a life is undescribable.
You know, human happiness is the one thing we're all after, but it oftentimes is something that we know very little about. A big part of that discovery happens, during a college experience. It's absolutely amazing to watch our young adults come alive when they encounter the grace of Christ and understand what that means to share it with their peers and to mold and shape the values that are going to form the trajectory that is the rest of their lives. when you're talking about the most efficient means for generating future leaders that we need for the life of the church and the state, for our culture, for our nation, for our world, campus ministry is a worthy investment, and I urge you to join us in your support today to help us put the face of Christ on the culture.